So today we're starting with 4.9, and 4.9 is kind of similar to 4.8 because we're going to learn about something that is important for speeding up a reaction. So in 4.8 last spread, we were looking at rate of reaction and the different influences or factors that cause a reaction to speed up or to increase. And we learned about three specific ones, being temperature, surface area, and concentration. Okay, so these are the specific ones that we learned about. We also learned about stir and mix, which we said can also influence the rate of reaction. And that's when we actually go in and manually kind of mix up the reactants there. Okay, so today we're going to be learning about another influence or factor, basically a substance that speeds up a reaction. And you might have learned about it in lower year levels as well. And it's called a catalyst, okay? So a catalyst is basically any substance that speeds up a chemical reaction. And the two key characteristics or key features of catalysts are, number one, they are not used up in the reaction, okay? And number two, they work by lowering the activation energy. Okay, so basically lowering the amount of energy that's required for the actual reaction to take place there. So the reaction can occur in a much quicker way. Okay, so that's the basic idea. And we're going to learn about two types of catalysts. You've got solid catalysts and you've got other catalysts. Solid catalysts basically ensure that those conditions that we talked about in 4.8, for example, the two reactants meeting in the correct orientation or in the correct position are met, and allowing the products to be formed in a very rapid way, okay? And other catalysts basically take part in the initial reaction and they are regenerated in the final reaction. So like we said before, they're not used up, okay? We can see them coming out on the other side. We can see that they're not being consumed or used up in the actual reaction because we see them coming on the right-hand side of the arrow there, okay? So that's what a catalyst is. A catalyst is just any substance that speeds up the reaction or increases the reaction rate without being used up in the actual reaction. So there's no permanent change to the catalyst that occurs, and by lowering the activation energy there. Okay, so that's the basic idea behind catalysts. Cars use a catalyst that speeds up the reaction. So when you, for example, turn on your car, you turn on the engine, there's a catalyst that actually converts that carbon monoxide. And we talked about carbon monoxide a few spreads back, and we said that carbon monoxide is actually a toxic gas, okay? It's a toxic gas, and basically it's, when we turn on our engines, carbon monoxide is produced. But with a catalyst, we are actually able to convert that carbon monoxide gas, the toxic gas, to carbon dioxide, okay? And we're able to convert those nitrogen oxides to nitrogen gas. And we can see that represented by this reaction here. Okay, so that's the basic idea, that because catalyst can speed up the reaction, it can speed up the rate at which the toxic carbon monoxide is converted into the safer carbon dioxide. So we don't just suffocate in our cars as soon as we turn them on. Okay, that poisonous gas doesn't get to our cells and that kind of stuff. So that's basically a practical application of a solid catalyst in place. Okay, you don't need to memorize this formula, but it's good to know what each one of those are. It's good to know that, for example, carbon monoxide converts to carbon dioxide through the use of a catalyst, or that nitrous oxide or nitrogen oxide basically converts to nitrogen gas because of the presence of that catalyst there. We've also got other catalysts in the form of chlorofluorocarbons, which are CFCs, and CFCs are used in a lot of different purposes. CFCs are actually kind of like dangerous for your health, and they're dangerous for the environment as well. But the basic idea is that when we're talking about CFCs, look, they're not as important for you to know in terms of the test and the exam. So it's more important for you to know the general characteristics of a catalyst, that, a catalyst does not get used up in a reaction. A catalyst increases the rate of a reaction or the speed in which the reactants collide with each other at the correct orientation. But you don't really need to know in depth about what chlorofluorocarbons are. Okay, there might be a question in your worksheet about it. If that's the case, just do the question, use these examples that we've got here, but you don't really need to know about this in depth. Okay, I'll give you just a few examples. For example, we know that when there's a fire and we've got a fire extinguisher, that fire extinguisher has to release the substance very, very quickly in order to quickly put out the fire. And so because we need a very fast reaction to occur in this example, we have the presence of a catalyst. Okay, That's why a catalyst is present in these fire extinguishers, and that catalyst is a chlorofluorocarbon, or CFC for short. Okay. Ventolin, so this is an asthma inhaler, okay, or an asthma pump. When someone is having an asthma attack or they're starting to feel like they can't breathe, we need to be able to deliver, we need to be able to clear the airways very quickly. And in order for us to do that, this medicine has to work in a very fast way. Okay, so we need to speed up the reaction. And so that's why Ventolin, or any of your asthma pumps or asthma inhalers, contain chlorofluorocarbons in them, because that's a catalyst that allows for the medicinal property of that inhaler to be quickly released into the airways, and to quickly clear the airways and to allow the person to breathe more quicker. Okay, so that's the basic, just 2 examples showing you why catalysts such as chlorofluorocarbons are used in such products like these. Okay, so that's the basic idea. Again, this is just a diagram showing you how CFCs affect the environment. Seriously, not even important. We'll just skip it because we're not going to ask you too much about the environmental impacts. More so important for you to know what CFC's function is as a catalyst, to provide a very fast reaction to ensure that a specific purpose is met. For example, fire extinguisher to be able to put out a fire very quickly, Ventolin to be able to deliver that medicinal property of the asthma pump quickly so the person can breathe. Just know it like that way. Okay, that should be more than enough. This is not important for us, so we'll just skip this. Same thing, like I said, all of this ozone layer and effect on the environment of due to CFCs is covered a lot in your book, but we're not going to focus on this. Okay, this is not going to be in your test, so we're just going to skip this. And more ozone stuff. So again, we're just going to skip this. Okay. So the enzymes are also an example of a catalyst, but they're a biological catalyst. Okay. For those of you, all of you who did biology last semester, you might have learned about enzymes, or if you're planning to do biology in 3 and 4, you will learn about enzymes, okay? Enzymes are basically a biological catalyst which actually speeds up the reactions in your body, okay? Specifically, enzymes are very important for the process of digestion to occur, okay? When we eat a specific food, particularly a food that takes a little bit more energy to basically digest, or a little bit more effort to digest, for example, meat, okay? Meat contains a lot of protein molecules, and those protein molecules are not easily digested by the body. They take a lot of time to be digested. And as a result of that, we have numerous or many different types of enzymes in our body that help to speed up the rate of digestion, to ensure that that meat doesn't take like 2 weeks to digest by your body, that within a period of 24 hours, that meat can digest, okay? And you don't have any digestive issues or bowel related issues that come out of that. Okay, so enzymes in the digestive system speed up the rate of digestion. They speed up the reaction related to digestion in order to break down food very quickly. Okay, and this is very important, particularly because in modern day, compared to cavemen, compared to like generations ago, or compared to hundreds and hundreds of years ago, today's generation, we tend to eat meat a lot more frequently than previous generations did. Okay, we know previous generations were very, very dependent on like nuts and seeds and those kinds of foods, which were high in protein, but had a different type of protein as compared to the protein that we find in meat. Okay, so that's basically why enzymes are really important for us. They're a biological catalyst which speeds up the reaction of digestion, allowing us to efficiently and quickly digest food. Okay, you might have learned about the lock and key model. Okay, the lock and key model is this basic idea that the substrate or the key always opens a specific lock. Okay, so basically one specific enzyme, which is represented as the key here, will unlock one specific substrate will unlock one specific enzyme there. Okay, and so a lot of the time, specific catalysts act on specific substances there. Okay, so that's the basic idea. Again, the lock and key model, we're not too focused on this in terms of the test. Okay, this is just for you to understand how, it's not like one enzyme can just take part in all different digestive processes. There are different enzymes there. Okay, so it depends on one specific enzyme catalyzing one specific digestive reaction there. Alrighty, so that is basically talking about enzymes, a different type of catalyst, but basically playing the same role as a general catalyst would. Okay, oh, that's done. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop the recording here.